Guess it's my
And
turn.
yeah. Well, before we do that, now the big news, and Grant was very sad about this, but we talked about it earlier in the show to start it, that Jimbo Fisher was fired here. So let's have just a short discussion on, let's try to solve Texas A&M's problems here. Let's see what we can do. Jimbo Fisher fired, guy who lays up on par fives,
Par fours.
Par fours, par threes. If it's 130 yards out, he does a 75% swing on his pitch on his 9-iron, so he can chip on a par three. And I was hoping somebody was going to mention him as give Texas A&M the team of the week for finally letting Jimbo go for $76 million. I think he gets a lump sum of, I think it was what, $19 million right away, or 60 days since he's been fired, and then another big chunk within like 120 days, and then one day every year he gets $7 million deposited into his account, and there are no like restrictions or anything on it, where if he wants to go and coach again, which I don't know, this guy makes the Bobby Bonilla deal look smart, and but it never worked out. Jimbo did a great job recruiting, but he could never rally the troops.
Hold on. He didn't do a good job recruiting. His boosters did a great job with NIL payments.
Yeah, they bought him.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair.
Saban. When Nick Saban calls you out for buying your recruits, I trust Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other part of Texas A&M's problem is they have a false idea of who they are. They consider, you ask a lot of these blue bloods, and I actually have a buddy he's from Texas. He's got a relative, I think, sister that went to college at Texas A&M, and I was kind of asking him some questions about it, and shout out Adam if you're listening. But I was asking him, I asked him point blank, do Texas A&M fans have a false sense of who they are? And he said that for the most part, like most normal like A&M fans understand that they are not in that blue blood category, but they spend money, they invested a lot into the facilities, but it's a lot of they haven't won a whole lot. They've won one Big 12 championship. They haven't even made it to the SEC championship game. They've won 3 division titles. In the last one coming in 2010, so I'm guessing in 98 or 97 was the last time Texas A&M won a conference championship. And it's felt like under Jimbo, and more so, and even under Kevin Sumlin, where they really rode Johnny Manziel's coattails, and that was their identity. And they never, after Johnny left, they never really had any established identity of what they wanted to do, or there was no culture at all. I think whoever they hire next they need to go and look at it and be patient with this next coach, which they should be, because having to pay a guy $76 million is, that's going to strap your athletic budget.
I'm pretty sure they're still paying.
They're still paying someone too.
They're paying someone as well.
Coming out of the athletic budget. All of this is coming from the donors. None of this will come out of
this is coming from the big Texas money, the oil money.
None of this money will actually come from the
Southeast
athletic
Texas.
department's
oh God, no.
revenue or budget.
This is just coming from some rich white guy who thinks, hey, I live in Texas. I'm better than everyone else in the union. I'm worth $300 million. I sent both of my sons to the cult that is Texas A&M University.
So is Dabo the perfect hire then? Because Dabo also kind of seems like to have a cult following.
I think to hire him. Like,
they don't have the they definitely don't have the money to hire Dabo.
I'm just saying. I'm more so being joking, but Dabo and Texas A&M seem like they both kind of have cult followings, and they would just.
Oh yeah.
Well, they would be even more insufferable, but
I don't see
It
them
would kind
going
of be fun
over
to
7
watch.
million a year. I think
You
that
know
six
what?
and a half, 7.
They couldn't hire Dabo because Dabo doesn't believe in NIL.
That is also true.
He doesn't believe in NIL. They're people from Texas. They think that they're better than us because he can buy $1,500 bottles of bourbon. He wears a cowboy hat and cowboy boots when he's actually never worked on a farm before. So we know how Rip asked him how he got that cowboy hat. um, and they think, oh hey, and also they wear Adidas. I mean, that's all you need to say. With all this money, they wear Adidas. Like, no, that's disgusting. Adidas sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't belong in college sports. Get it out of here. For God's sakes, you have all this money. Go to Jordan. Go to Nike. Don't wear Adidas. It's awful.
But back to my point is and for a coach is that's more about building a culture, establishing an identity. You're going to get him a lot cheaper, and hopefully they give him time to kind of bring them back to somewhat where they aren't just kind of in no man's land. I think they need to go after a guy like a Mike Elko, a Chris Kleiman, a Lance Leipold, a Kalen DeBoer, guys with coaching experience that aren't just big names. They need to go with somebody that's a little bit under the radar.
Well, and here's my thing. Why would any of these guys want to go to Texas A&M?
That's the other part too.
Why?
That's the tricky part is trying to convince them of that, because
those coaches want to go there.
And those coaches aren't the ones that are blinded and will make decisions strictly off of, I'm going to make more money. They're going to
exactly.
They like where they are. They're happy, content with where they are.
Mm-hmm. And they've built their programs to the image that they like, and they don't want to spend another 4 to 5 years doing that at another job.
Especially when you got boosters breathing down your neck every time you lose a game.
Absolutely.
But